AITAH for wanting to divorce my husband after bullying, accusing me and requiring a DNA test after giving birth to our twin. My husband, 33M, and I, 23F, have been together for almost 7 years and he was the lom. We met when I was 16 fresh out of HS going to college. He met my family when I was 18. I was a virgin and we couldn't be intimate without getting married. We're Muslim BTW. He proposed when I was 20 and we got married when I was 22 right after graduating from grad school. I never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom or wife. Before we even began to date, he was aware of my expectations. From 2017 to the end of February 2024, my husband was loving, caring, supportive and handsome. He was my best friend, my mentor. He is an engineer and I work in finance. We, mostly him, built a house from the ground together. We have a garden where we don't have to buy fruits and veggies. I was his princess. On November 2023, I saw my face was getting swollen and my belly became longer than usual. I didn't really pay attention because I was blooded. 6 days later, I ended up at the hospital BC. I wasn't feeling normal. The doctor told me that I was pregnant. Husband was so happy. I didn't know how to feel about it, but I was happy just because he was. He took great care of me. He went over and beyond to make sure that I was happy, especially when he found out that I was carrying a pair of babies, and I was grateful for that. This relationship was not perfect, but we always find a solution or a way to make things work between us until February 2024. Out of nowhere, my husband started to give me ultimatum to choose between my career or my family, and he also started commenting and complaining about my look, the length of my belly. He has spent an entire week making nasty comments about my body. He kept saying how my belly occupied more than half of the bed, and after delivering the baby my next stop should be at the gym instead of home because I looked funny. Those comments hurt me still now, and he could see the pain in my eyes. He didn't want to go work or outside. He told the way I looked made him looked bad. He got mad for the simplest things/cause. He yelled at me. He husband that I knew for the past 7 years was a completely different one. He made me cried every day for the last 2 months straight, but I was still holding because I thought it was a phase and everything will be okay, and I refused to believe it until a week before my due date. He told me that in order for him to sign the birth certificate a DNA test is required. Innocent-looking girls are always the biggest whore. Proceeded to tell me, who knows, you might have one of those work husband. I was so hurt, exhausted, and mad. The only word that came out of my mouth was okay, and that was my last word with him. On the delivery day, I took all stuff that I packed for babies and I took an Uber to the hospital. I was meeting with my best friend. Her husband is a lawyer specializing in divorce IYKYJ, who was there with me during the delivery, and God. Husband knew the delivery date, but didn't have the address of the hospital. I give my babies the name with my grandfather's last name. I told the nurses that I am the mom and dad. My husband, he showed up the next day after I gave birth, and still demanding the DNA test and complaining on the type of wife that I am. Again, I ignored. I went home with my babies. I was exhausted. BC, he didn't help me with them at all, to a point that I moved to my best friend's house. Just she helped me with them. He called all his family members saying that I am cheating on him and the twin aren't his. They are calling me every single day, calling me names. I am tired, depressed, and fed up. I contacted my husband and told him that I agree to do the DNA test, but expect a divorce soon, and I am not going to change the name. We did, and he was the father. All his family were calling to apologies and wanted to meet the babies, including the dad, and begging me to come back. I said no, and that was my final decision. All his family again texting me and threatened me for not letting them see the kids and divorcing their boy. AITAH? Edit. Sorry for the long text, typos, and any confusion. I haven't say anything about my family because I'm an orphan. My mom and dad died in a car accident when I was 8, and I was living with my grandparents until 2020 on COVID.